If so, then yeah, it's probably a good deal for them. But if they're like, I can't afford an extra $500 a month, then it's probably okay. Let's try to get more aggressive and find something that'll get closer to like at least breaking even after you move out. You know, so I think it just kind of depends. But in theory, yeah, I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah, because the thing I find interesting is most properties, because if you buy it as a primary residence, you get lower interest rate, you get to put less down payment on the house, so you keep your cash more liquid. But by the time you move out in a year or two later, if you self-manage your own property, most of the things I've been seeing, you're only negative like $200-300 or something. So I just like that idea and the principle of keeping the longer term on it, because there's so many other things that you could be making money on within real estate.
Right.
But I feel like the main focus of everybody is cash flow.
Yes.
And personally, I feel like cash flow is very important. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's great. But I feel like there's almost too much importance on cash flow and not enough on some of the other ways that real estate brings wealth or brings value to an investor.
You're going to get me off on a tangent here because I'm with you 100%, man. Yeah, I've been trying to preach this to people, especially like, and this isn't for everyone again, but like if you are wanting to house hack and if you have the ability to buy maybe an off-market wholesale deal, or maybe it's on the MLS, but it needs some work. And if you can come in and you can do a remodel, 30, 40, 50 grand. Again, I know not everyone has that option, but if you do, I 10 out of 10 recommend that, because and my second house hack is the perfect example of that. Bought it off market. I put like 30 to 40 grand into that property to remodel it a little bit. Nothing crazy, just updating things. And I bought that for 545 and now it's worth 700, less than 2 years later, or about 2 years later, I guess.
And to be clear, that's 2 years later in a market that's not the pandemic market.
Right.
Like, that's not fairy tale market. This has been a rough kind of go.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you make the money on the buy, and that $200K of equity is way more exciting to me than $700 a month in cash flow.
Thank you.
$700 and or losing $500 a month, right?
Right.
But if you can sit on, like I just created at the time, it's appreciated a little bit over time, but that's $200,000 of equity created. Whereas if you just go buy a property at retail value that doesn't need any work, and I'm not like trying to talk people out of that because it depends on your circumstances. But if you go buy a property for retail value, there's no way to increase the value. You're buying it at as what it's worth. There's no way to increase the value. But if you have the ability to buy something that needs a little bit of work and maybe add a kitchen in the basement, or maybe cut out a basement entrance, like add a separate entrance, maybe it doesn't have one, and now you increase the value, even if it's only 50 to 100K, it would take you decades of cash flow to make up for that equity.